Hey, and welcome back to the channel, everybody. How are you all doing? Today's video is a video which is going to take you through the steps you need to undertake to get your Sabertooth 2x32 communicating with your Arduino Uno R3 board, and then subsequently communicating with the motors on your motion sim. This is all in relation to a 4 degree of freedom motion simulator platform that I have built, that I have step-by-step tutorials on my channel about. Click on this link to the first tutorial. This is to help people out who are having a few issues now that they've built their sim, actually with getting their Sabertooth 2x32s, or indeed IBT2 motor controllers. If you're using them, I'll be covering that and how to set them up as well in this video. But we're going to start with the Sabertooths. This is for people out there who are having a few issues with getting the motor and the Arduino board communicating with each other and getting movement in their sim. I'm going to go through step by step what you need to do to make sure at least the software side of things are set up. If you're still having issues after this video, you need to retrace all of your wiring and make sure that that is all in order, because if it's not working after what we do today, then your issues are not software based, they're hardware based, and you need to go through what you're going to need to go through to sort that out. There are other videos I've done on this subject that cover a little bit more of the basic stuff. I'll include links to those in the description as well. If there's stuff that is missed in this tutorial that you don't understand because it's more basic, look at those tutorials. They will cover those aspects of what you need to do to set up your software. So the first thing we're going to need to do is obviously make sure that our Sabertooth is wired correctly to our Arduino Uno, and subsequently that our potentiometers from our motors are wired correctly to our Arduino. Make sure those things are in place. Make sure your dip switches on the Sabertooth are set up like this, okay? With 1 and 2 all the way in the down positions, all the others are flicked all the way to the top. Make sure they're in place. You do not need to ground pin 8, okay, to set your board rate to 115200. That is done in the Describe software. So as long as all this is in place, let's move to the next step. You need to download the Describe software from Dimension Engineering. And on this page, okay, now this page is from the xsimulator.net forum. This is Blazon H's SPS Sabertooth packet serial version. This is basically a code that we're going to get that he has written for the Sabertooth 2x32s to work with the Arduinos, to work with SMC3 utilities, which controls all the power settings for your motors. And we're going to get that sketch today and get it uploaded into the Arduinos that will control our motor controller. And then we're going to step over to this tutorial, which is also at xsimulator.net. This is Rufus Doofus's tutorial on how to get a motion simulator working to get the codes into an Arduino, and this is going to revolve around the IBT2s. Okay, on my motion simulator platform, which is 4 degree of freedom, I have a Sabertooth 2x32 that controls 2 motors, and I have 2 IBT2s that control a motor each, another 2 motors. I have 4 motors, hence the fact that I have a 4 degree of freedom motion sim. This tutorial will cover 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree, 6 degree, even more. It'll be relevant to any degree of freedom motion sim. It's just that you may need more Arduino Unos if you're running more than 4 degrees of freedom. To run a 4 degree of freedom motion sim the way I run it, it requires 2 Arduino Uno R3 boards, as well as the controllers that link to your motors. So we'll be switching between these 2 tutorials on xsimulator.net, but we're going to focus on the 2x32 Sabertooth first. So we'll come to this page. Both of these tutorials will be linked in the description. Come to the SPS Sabertooth packet serial PID motor driver sketch with soft start first. Scroll down past the wiring diagrams, and on here you'll see a link here to Dimension Engineering. Click on that, get this software. Okay, this is taking you straight to the software download. Get the 3.7 version here, not the betas, but the one that's been tested and works, and then install it for Windows. I'm assuming you are using Windows. If you're not using Windows, you will probably have to run with one of the beta versions because there's options here for Mac and Linux. For me, it's Windows. If it's for you, it's Windows. Whichever it is, install that. What you're going to need to do now is plug in your Sabertooth 2x32 via the USB cable that plugs into this mini port here. It's a mini USB port here that goes to a normal USB 2 port on your computer. Plug this in now to your computer and you should see these lights here, okay, flashing on your Sabertooth, confirming that it's made connection with your PC. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about now, and then we'll come back and we'll go through the software. Now, when you received your 2x32 Sabertooth, it came with a USB cable with a micro USB port on one end, which plugs into the Sabertooth micro USB port, and a standard USB port on the other end. Plug that USB port into a USB port on your computer, then plug this in to the port on the Sabertooth, and you'll get these flashing lights, meaning that it's detected it. And now you will go to the Describe software and set up the necessary changes for this to now run correctly with your motion sim. Let's look at that. Okay, once you've got that plugged in and it's communicating with your computer and you've downloaded that Describe software, it'll create a shortcut on your desktop. This is what it looks like. Double click on this. This is going to open the software eventually. Now, I don't go with the quick start. It freezes the computer for some reason. I just come straight up here. So close that quick start window. Come up here and on connect and download settings, click on that. Now, this is bringing up a little window here that's saying basically that it's seeing my Sabertooth 2x32 in communications port 6. It's already got the baud rate set up at 115200 and the address is 128. Now, this COM port location might be different on your computer because you might have it plugged into COM port 4 or 2 or 7, whatever. Now, for me to confirm that that is indeed correct, I can simply do a cross-check by clicking on my search bar down here. Now, I've already got Device Manager coming up in recent because I typed in here device and it gave me the option for Device Manager. That's what I suggest you do. Click on that. This is going to bring up Device Manager. Go to Ports, COM, and LPT. Drop down that. You can see here that I have the Sabertooth being seen here in COM port 6. So that confirms that it is actually being seen by Windows and that is correct, okay? Now, because mine's already been set up, it's already reading that baud rate. Yours will more than likely have this baud rate attached to it when you first open it, okay? That's all good. You can set that there to 15200 if you like, press OK. That's going to put us into where we need to be now to make some little changes here. All we're going to be fussed about today is serial and USB. Click on that tab. Make sure that the baud rate here is set up at 115200. Plain text and serial addresses can just stay at 1 and 2. And the serial timeout here is very important. It's highly recommended in the tutorial on the xsimulator.net website that you have a 100 millisecond timeout delay set up. Now, to set that up correctly here, you need to do it with the correct decimals for 100 milliseconds, and that's going to be 0.1. Type that in. Once you've got this set up like this, come to Upload Settings to Device. This is going to load these settings into the Sabertooth and save them. You're done now. Now you're done. That's all you need to do with the Sabertooth. You can close this. You can now unplug the Sabertooth to the computer. You don't want that little mini USB cable from the Sabertooth into the computer now, because now we're going to set up the Sabertooth so it can communicate with the Arduino rather than directly with the computer. So unplug the Sabertooth from your computer. Now we need to get our Arduino IDE or our Arduino driver downloaded. Okay, so now we're going to slip over to the other tutorial, the Rufus Doofus tutorial. linked in the description. Open this, scroll down the page until you see the IBT2 image here, and under step 2 here, get the Arduino IDEs 2, you're going to click on this. This is going to take you to the Arduino website, okay? From here, get the latest version from the download page. Click on this link here. Okay, this is the latest version. Since I've clicked on this, depending on when you're watching this video, this could be further along the line. So this is what it was when I clicked on it. It doesn't matter. Whatever the latest version is, you want to grab it. Now, I use Windows 10. Again, whatever you're using, you will click on the appropriate installer. You'll click on this. In this window, you have an option to contribute and download, or you can just download it. For me today, I'm just going to download. Again, this window, you've got the option of giving them your email for updates or just downloading. I'm just going to download, and it started its download. Now, I've already downloaded this, okay? So I'm just going through this for the exercise so then you guys know what you need to do. I did say I would do a step-by-step tutorial. That is what I'm going to do. Now, because this is an automatic installer, when this download finishes, you won't need to extract any files or anything from this download. All you will do is click on the link once this is downloaded when you open your downloads page, or indeed you can just click on it here. See this here? If I click on this now, it will begin to install the latest version of Arduino IDE. Let's click on it anyway to see what happens. I can just, okay, so yes, it'll bring up the window here. You'll agree. Anyone that uses the computer, however you want to set that up, you will do that, and then it will begin to install it. I'm not going to do that because I've already got it installed. I'll close this because I don't need to be on that page. It will take some time for that to install all of the files. Okay, so go and grab yourself a cup of coffee, a shot of whiskey, some vodka with a worm in it, or like myself, you can go and cook some eggs, baked beans, and have some baked beans and eggs with some aioli, garlic aioli on some toast. That's what I did while I waited for this to upload. Ooh, it was delicious. Okay, when you come back, we will talk about what needs to happen next, and then we can get into the installation of the codes and the sketches into our Arduinos to work with our IBT2s and our Sabertooth 2x32. Okay, once that has installed, you will get this window. This will already be ticked, so you might as well run it just so it's been run. So I'll leave that ticked. I'll click finish, and this will automatically start the Arduino software. It should have placed a shortcut on your desktop as well, which is all good. You just want to make sure this is going to open and work. So it's good to just run it the first time. Okay, that's great. It's running. That's all you need to do with this. It's on the computer. Close this down. You can see here it's installed a shortcut if you ever need to open the main Arduino software for any reason. Let me close down SMC3 utilities I've got running in the background there. You will also need to obviously download that. We can close that down, and you'll download that from the Rufus Doofus. If you haven't got it, you will need to come down to the SMC3 utilities download area, which is right at the bottom, and you'll download the latest version 1.1 zip. If you don't have this on this Rufus Doofus 3 degree of freedom motion sim page, all the way down the bottom, get the SMC3 utilities 1.01 from this page. Let's go back to the Sabertooth page. Okay, so you have unplugged your Sabertooth now, the little mini USB port into your Sabertooth. You've unplugged that, and it's now wired up and connected to your Arduino. You've got to make sure that that is set up. Now we're going to go down and we're going to grab the Sabertooth Arduino libraries. All right, we're going to find them down the bottom here. Here they are here. Okay, we're going to grab that. Now this also has the SMC3 utilities file here by the looks of things. Now that's only version 1. I'd get version 1.1 from the other tutorial shown earlier, but grab the Arduino libraries here, click on this, It's uploading to here. Now what I like to do, okay, I like to create a folder on my desktop and actually extract these before I just click on them. So I'm just going to put in here Sabertooth libraries. I might just put in there Arduino libraries. Okay, I've created that folder. Come back here. So the Arduino libraries here, you can see I've been through this process with all these other ones, working this out so I can do this tutorial for you guys. Right click on that, show in folder. Okay, right click on this, 7-zip, I use 7-zip, depending on what your zip extractor is. Okay, extract the files and then select what I'm going to select where I want these to save to, where I want this to extract to. So I'm just going to click on that and find the Sabertooth Arduino libraries folder I created on my desktop. I'll click on that and I'll extract that file there. Okay, I'll come in here, and this is an installer. This can be quite confusing because you can think that you need to, these are sketches, but this is not what you're going to upload to your Arduino, but you do need these on your computer. Okay, so this is just, let me go back. This is what we just extracted. We're going to double click on this and it's going to run an installer. Yes, we agree. Yes, install all of those, have everything ticked. And I would suggest you just let it install where it wants to install this. You can indeed set up your own folder if you want to. I'm happy for it to install there where it wants to install. That's all we have to worry about there. Okay. Add this to the growing list of folders on my desktop. Describe can go back up there. Let's go back to our step-by-step guide here. Now what we need to do, guys, is we need to get the Arduino sketch here, okay? So we've got the Arduino programming software in place. We've downloaded the library. We've got those installed. If not already done, apply power to your Sabertooth motor inputs. I don't do that yet. I'm going to do that after I've installed everything, so then my sim doesn't go haywire for any reason if something like this fails. So I don't turn that on until I've opened SMC3 utilities and I'm ready to run some tests. So skip that. Don't do that, in my opinion. Now we need to get the sketch from below. This is where it is very confusing. And I understand, because in the libraries, you can indeed click on these libraries, as I'll show you. Right, so if I go to where that installed the Arduino Sabertooth libraries, documents, Arduino libraries, Sabertooth, simplified, these have all got sketches, okay, in these. And you may think that it is actually these sketches that you need to upload. That's because the instructions on the Xsimulator website are not very clear about what sketch you are meant to upload to your Arduino. The reason I know this is because I couldn't get my damn motors to work from the Sabertooth 2x32 because I thought that you had to come into libraries here and upload a sketch from here because it's not 100% clear in the instructions. No, you don't do that. Just leave the libraries where they are. You never have to look at them again. All you need to do now is come down and grab the soft start here, okay? 8.2 is the one that I have used. All right, this is the sketch that we're going to upload to our Arduino board that is attached to our Sabertooth 2x32. We're going to click on this, and this is going to upload here. Now, once again, I'm going to create a folder on my desktop. I'm going to call this the Sabertooth Soft Start Sketch, just so I know what the hell it is. Okay, I'll come back to where I just downloaded that there. I'm going to open, I'm going to see that in the downloads folder. I'm going to right click again. I'm going to 7-zip. That's what I use. I'm going to extract the files. And I'm going to point the extraction to where I just set that up. I called it Sabertooth Software Sketch. Okay. The sketches, you have to extract them. If you just click on them in the download, like if I just come in here, click on that, double click on that, and then double click on that, it won't have downloaded the sketch correctly. Okay, and it won't work. It won't upload into the Arduino. You have to extract the file like I just showed you by, when it's downloaded, by going here, right-clicking on this, showing it in the folder, going to the downloads folder, and then choosing your extract software. Mine is 7-zip, and actually extracting the files. That's why you need to create somewhere for them to go so you can find them after you've extracted them. Okay, so that's simple little folder I created on my desktop that just says Sabertooth Soft Start Sketch. That's where I extracted that file to. So now when I come here and I click on this, it's going to open and it's going to play nice. Now, something very important that I have not spoken about. Here's our sketch. I'm using two different motor controllers. I'm using a Sabertooth 2x32, as mentioned earlier, to control my front motors, and I'm using two IBT2s to control my other two motors. All right, so this sketch here is specific for the Sabertooth 2x32, and we can see on the top here this mode, and we can see here in the sketch it's saying how to set this mode up. All right, now because this is specific for the Arduino that is going to be communicating with the Sabertooth 2x32, I need to make sure that mode 3 is selected, because I can change this to be mode 2, all right, or mode 1, all right. For this Arduino board that is connected to my Sabertooth, I need the Sabertooth simple serial mode. So I need 3. Very important to do this. I'm going to change that to 3, then I'm going to save it. I've changed it to 3, file, save. Now what you would do is you would select your board here, because you've got to make sure the board is selected that this sketch is going to go to. Now the problem is, for me, or for anybody, if you've built the 4 degree of freedom motion sim, you've either got two 2x32 Sabertooths, or you've got a mix of each. You've got 2 boards. You want to make sure that this sketch goes to the correct Arduino board attached to the Sabertooth. What I did to make sure that this was going to the right board is I physically unplug the other Arduino board, which is controlling the other Sabertooth or the IBT2s. So then this sketch, so I've only got one option because I've only got one Arduino Uno board showing. Now, you will have to, if you don't see a board, all right, you will need to select here, okay, and you will need to go through the list here and find your Arduino board in the list, right? It will be in here. There it is there, Arduino Uno, okay? If you don't see it automatically. If I click on this though, it can see my Arduino Uno, and I can confirm that that is the Sabertooth board because it is seeing it in COM4, and that's where Device Manager, we can confirm with Device Manager, Arduino Uno COM4, okay? Remember this as well, because you may need to make a slight change in the SMC3 Utilities information folder as well. You may need to make sure that that's set up to say COM4. We'll get to that in a second. So I can confirm that that is the only Arduino board that my computer is seeing, because I've unplugged my other Arduino board that is connected to my IBT2s. So then I make sure that this sketch, when I'm about to upload this, only goes into that board associated with my Sabertooth. So I'm going to make sure that mode 3 here is selected. Now, this was by default set up on mode 3. If it for some reason says any other mode here, make sure you change it to mode 3 for Sabertooth setup. Now all you need to do after you've made sure that the board is selected is go to Sketch, upload. Okay, it's done compiling. There's been no errors. There's no red text, which means that it's uploaded successfully. The sketch that is now going to work with SMC3 utilities has successfully uploaded to the Arduino that is communicating with your Sabertooth. You will need to download the SMC3 utilities software as mentioned earlier. If you go to Rufus Doofus's and scroll all the way down, I did show this earlier, I'm pretty sure. SMC3, we don't want the Uno, we want utilities, okay? That's the SMC3 Uno file. We'll talk about that in a second. That's for, once again, their codes to go into the Arduino Uno for the IBT2s. Okay, but we're still on the Sabertooth, but you'll need SMC3 utilities 1.10. If you don't have that, click on this, download it, run it and install it on your computer. I have already done that, okay? So now I can turn on my motors and confirm that they're working. And all I need to do now is click on this software, because you're going to need SMC3 setup for the Sabertooth and setup. Well, you're going to need SMC3 setup twice, if you like, for two different motors to run with the two different motor controllers. Now, I've got my Sabertooth on this one. Actually, that's wrong. This is for my IBT2s. It's not going to work because I've got that board unplugged. It's this one here that is associated with my Sabertooth 2x32. Now, this file here, you're not going to have all this stuff here. This is all settings and parameters that I've saved over time onto my EEPROM chip in the Arduino Uno board. You'll only have these two and maybe one other thing. This here, this information folder here, double click on this first and make sure that COM port here equals the port that device manager is seeing that your Arduino is plugged into for your Sabertooth. Remember earlier when I clicked on device manager, I went to ports and my Arduino Uno that's been seen on my computer is in COM4. This is the Arduino that's plugged into the Sabertooth. So indeed it's COM4. Make sure this says 4 because it could say anything when you first install SMC3 utilities. It could say anything. Make sure it says 4. Physically change the number by backspacing, putting in the port number that device manager sees the Arduino Uno as, put it in, save it, close it. Now you can open SMC3 utilities. This should see, it does, okay? This means we are working, okay? I don't have power on my motors and I don't have the camera on my motors, but if I now powered up my motors, okay, put a camera on my motors, went to manual here and started fiddling around, my motors would start moving, all right? If they're not moving, if you're able to open SMC3 utilities and do this with your power on and you're not getting any movement to your motors, you've got a wiring issue. It's not going to be your sketch. It's not going to be your Arduino software. If you've gone through all of these steps now, but now you still can't get movement to your motors when you're in manual and you're trying to move them, okay, with these methods in manual operation, and you've got no movement in your motors, you've got a wiring issue, you've got a power issue, you've got some issue like that, okay? If you've done all of these steps as far as the software goes, then it should work if your wiring is correct. If it's not working, you need to go through and double check all your schematics for your wiring, okay? And you need to sort that stuff all out. Again, I've got videos in my playlists on my channel. Look for software setups and wiring tutorials. They'll take you through how to wire that stuff if you're having issues with that. So that is the Sabertooth sorted out. Now, the thing is, if you're using two Sabertooths, you need to go through that exact same process we just did then with your other Arduino board. So what I recommend you do is now unplug your Arduino to that Sabertooth. You've just set this up. Plug in the Arduino board now for the other Sabertooth and go through exactly that same situation. You've already got the software downloaded already, all you need to do is go to the Sabertooth Soft Start, sketch here, open that again, okay? For argument's sake, you'll open this again. This time when you select your board, it won't be a COM4 board. It'll be whatever, when you plug that second Arduino Uno board that's associated with your second Sabertooth 2x32, whatever your computer is seeing that COM port as, that's what you make sure you've selected here. Unplug the other board that you've already just set your sketch up for so there can be no confusion. And so then the Arduino IDE file here can only see the board that you haven't uploaded the sketch to. Simply click on whatever this board is that's been seen. Make sure this is in mode 3 as well, if this is for your second Sabertooth. And again, make sure it's in mode 3. Simply sketch and upload. Bang, you're right. Now, if you are using a combination of Sabertooth 2x32s for your front motors and then IBT2s for your horizontal motors like I do, all you will do is unplug the Sabertooth Arduino board, plug back in the IBT2 board. In fact, I'm going to turn the recording off here for a second. I'm going to go and unplug the Sabertooth Arduino board, plug back in my IBT2 board, the Arduino Uno board that's communicating with my IBT2s, and I'll go through the process of uploading the sketch for the IBT2s in this video as well. Stand by. Okay, I just went and unplugged my Sabertooth Arduino board, so the Arduino board that's plugged into my computer that the Sabertooth is connected to, that we just set up the sketch for. I've unplugged that, and I've now plugged in the other Arduino board. For me, it's an Arduino board that's connected to IBT2s. This is specifically for someone using IBT2s. Okay, let's go to our device manager first to check to make sure it's seeing that Arduino board. Now, if you remember, the last board plugged in was seen in COM port 4. This should be a different COM port, and it is. So now the new board I've plugged in that's connected to my IBT2s is seen in COM port 7. Make a note of this. Remember, it's in COM port 7. Which one are we on here? This is the Rufus Doofus. This is where we want to be. Okay, to get the sketch now for your IBT2s, it's the first download. It's this one here, guys. So the first one of these boxes you come across for the attached files, this is what you want here. Okay, and I install version 7. Download this one. Now, again, on the desktop, because we need to extract these for these codes to work properly, create a folder. I'm going to put in IBT2 Arduino sketch. I'm going to set that up on my desktop, and then I'll come up here. Again, I'm going to show in folder. Right-click on this. I'm going to extract these files to that folder I just created. IBT2 Arduino sketch. Okay, okay. Close that, minimize that. Here it is here. Here it is here. Again, we open this up. The IDE software will open the sketch, and it needs to create a folder. Now, if you don't extract this, like I just extracted it to my desktop, this won't work. It will say failed. So I'll click on this. It'll automatically save this to an ini file, which it's done. Now, we do need to make a change here as well. Okay, for the IBT2H bridges, as you can see here, set to mode 2. Click on this, backspace, select 2, file, save. First of all, though, we need to select our board again, COM7. That's how Device Manager was seeing this Arduino board that's connected with our IBT2. So we'll select that, make sure this sketch is going to that board. Again, I've unplugged the other board so then there can be no confusion where the sketch goes. Upload. And the sketch is successfully uploaded to that Arduino board. That will now allow your SMC3 utilities to control your motors via the Arduino Uno and via the IBT2 motor controllers. You would then basically open your SMC3 utilities like I showed you earlier. For me, it's going to be the other Arduino file. To now turn the power on to your motors, and then you can play with your power settings. All that sort of stuff is already on my channel in my playlists. Look through my playlists, guys, for the SMC3 utility software setups and all that sort of stuff, how to add power, what sort of power to add. A lot of it's experimental, but I put in there some pretty good framework and some good boundaries, what not to exceed, etc. Just look through my playlists in my software setups to find what you need to get your motors working powerfully the way that you want them to work. Well, it's been a hell of a morning getting this sorted out. George, this is a shout out for you, mate. You've done a wonderful job on your 4 degree of freedom motion sim. Cheers to you, mate. I really like what you've done with your motion sim. You've done a great job with that. I hope this tutorial has helped. I hope this solves your problem. I hope this is indeed what the problem was and it's not a wiring issue with your setup. Good luck, mate. I hope this helps. And for anyone else out there who stumbled on this, I hope this has helped you set up your motion sim for motion. Until I see you guys in the next video, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and take it easy out there.